the partnership agreement and what that means to our mob. I suppose the partnership agreement's a statement of intent on how the department and our mob, the Aboriginal community, work together to best service our Aboriginal communities across New South Wales and our Aboriginal learners. The first partnership agreement was signed off in 1999 to ensure that we Aboriginal people have a voice in setting directions and setting the goals for our education and training. So this was renewed at the end of last year, and it was signed off this year at our 2010 annual conference. We actually did some extensive travelling throughout New South Wales and actually consulted with local AECGs, regional DET, meaning schools and TAFE, and also the local schools and local TAFE institutes. So it wasn't something brainstormed by state. We actually went out and there was a lot of input from the community in developing this. The renewed partnership agreement builds on the joint work that DET and AECG has undertaken to make sure our mob are actively involved and engaged in public education in New South Wales. The vision statement, is together we are, together we can, and together we will. And they're just three powerful statements in itself. We have agreed priorities throughout that, and then there's also focused areas. So there's leadership and accountability is one focus area, ongoing learning and professional learning, relationship and pathways, and quality teaching and learning. If we, meaning the mob and the department, are going to bridge the educational gap, it's imperative that we work together. We can't do it working separately. It's got to be, we all got to be on the same wavelength, heading down that path together. And it's vital for our mob to have a say in our future. We need to determine our future. Otherwise, educators are actually working in isolation, and that's not what we want. Our mob want the best for our kids. Historically, that wasn't done. And if we continue to work down that track, there will never ever be change. And I suppose what the partnership agreement did when it was signed off in '99, which was the first of its kind, I think in a national scale as well, that allowed us to actually get in the driver's seat with leaders of schools and teachers of schools. Historically there was never ownership by community in education, and that's what we want to happen. We want our communities and our schools to take ownership. So, why would schools work with local AECGs? Local AECGs, their networks, they provide a structure which schools can actually access community. They're the door, they're the gate to Aboriginal communities. And, local AECGs can, facilitate community access and community engagement. So, it's important that we actually work together, that schools go to AECGs to actually get community engagement. I'm not saying that's the only community consultation pathway, but the department's policies state that the AECG is the first contact. What schools do outside of that, that's your business, but AECG is vital in those first steps. But what we must realise is our local networks differ. They work differently, and their capacity to work is different as well. And we can't assume that every local AECG knows everything and are the fixers of every problem. What we see as the peak body is that to fix that or to work towards bettering the different levels of the AECGs, that the government has a responsibility, and I suppose as the leaders and employees of government, you also have a responsibility to engage community and to build a community capacity to allow our mob to be able to articulate and self-determine our own future.